everyone. I'm Chelsea Ritenour, your host for Music Talks. We took a little field trip down to my undergrad alma mater, which is the College of Fine Arts right behind me at Carnegie Mellon University. You're going to get a little sneak peek into one of my personal voice lessons with my longtime voice teacher, Professor Teadt. Come on. All right, everyone, so we are here in the studio and we are with my voice teacher, Teadt. He has been my voice teacher since I was 19 years old.
It's hard to believe.
Isn't that hard to believe? I'm now 30, so do the math.
And I'm not, right? Yes.
It's Dan has seen me through pretty much every phase, vocally, I guess, and personally too.
Yeah, a lot of it, right?
Yeah, of my adult life.
All the versions of Chelsea.
All the versions of me.
Indeed.
But you all are going to get to hear me sing at my voice lesson today. But before we do that, I want to talk to Dan. I would love to get a little bit of your background. You're not originally from here.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I ended up here. I was born outside of Chicago. I was raised there. I went to the University of Illinois. I was there for 6 years. I had a wonderful voice teacher there at Illinois, and then I worked with John Wussman, who was one of the great accompanists. And so my training there was, I did a whole lot of opera and a whole lot of classical music, but I really got interested in musical theater as well when I was out there, and it kind of opened my eyes to, teaching it and getting into the nitty-gritty and under the hood, so to speak. So the more I did that, the more I was interested in listening to voices and kind of getting to know voices, and the more work I did with voices, the more I realized I was trying to figure them out, and trying to figure out how they work and how mine worked, and which took a while. Took a long while, as we all know, right? Yeah. But I ended up with San Francisco Opera. That's why I was there, did some training there, got to work with some great people out there, and then moved to New York and worked at New York City Opera for years, and then finally ended up in Pittsburgh as an apprentice here with the opera as well, which was, oh my gosh, 20 years ago that I was there. So I stayed here. I met my wife here. We have 2 kids, and we live here in the city. And about, 10 years ago? 11 years ago.
11 years ago.
Oh, well, thanks for keeping track.
Sorry.
I forgot. I started at CMU. I came over here.
Wait, no, it was 12 years ago.
Was it?
Because your first year here, I was not your student.
Yeah.
You've known me, you've been teaching me since I was 19, so it's been 11 or 12 years.
Yeah, 11, 12 years, something like that. I'm getting a little lost in it.
Me too. That's crazy.
But I started here teaching a handful of students, right? And the second year, we started together. And I've been here ever since. I've been here for all these different versions of the School of Music, too, which has turned over quite a bit.
Yes, it really has. Excuse me. I have so much phlegm. We're going to have fun with that today.
It's going to be great. Yeah.
It's going to be great. You were young when you started teaching here. You were in your mid-30s.
Yeah, relatively. Yeah.
How'd you get this position?
I was teaching privately here in Pittsburgh for a couple of years, and my name got around as somebody who could be trusted and somebody...
Makes sense.
Right, So I sort of built a reputation that way, privately, and I started working at a couple of universities around the area. And then I got a call one day from the head of music saying, hey, can you come in and teach a handful of students? We've got some people we'd like you to see. It was not. It was Noel Zoller.
Yes, I had him my first year.
Yeah, so he called and said, hey, we got a position open. And over time, it turned into a permanent position. So now I'm officially have to call me professor.
Oh.
From now on. Sorry. It's just the way it goes. It's no longer Dan. Or Mr. Professor. Or Dr. Professor. Whatever you want.
Whatever we want.
Whatever you feel like doing is totally fine with me. So that's what happened. I came over here and it started to build and build and build. And I started teaching courses and lectures and master classes and started doing that. That kind of took me all over the world as well. So
you're all over the place now.
I'm kind of I've always been all over the place, kind of a mess. But now I'm kind of actually physically all over the place. And it's been so rewarding. It's been wonderful. And it's turned from singing, adding on to that. Now I do a lot of public speaking. I coach TEDx people and all that kind of fun stuff. So it's all voice stuff, right? It's all related in some way. But it all kind of sprouts from this belief that there's a way to do this efficiently and sustainably and to do it well.
That's my next question.
Yeah.
What is your kind of philosophy as a voice teacher, what's the goal?
Right. So I have to say I'm a little backwards than a lot of voice teachers.
No, because I like the way you do it, and it's how I do it too, and it makes sense.
Because I think a lot of people start from the breath and work their way up, and I think the breath is so important, absolutely important. But for me, it's about sustainability, and it's about efficiency. So we start from the place where you make the most sustainable sound. We start from your sounds, the ones that work for you well, right? Things that I would call like power vowels, things that already work well in your voice, and we slowly, it seeps out and starts to work into all the areas that don't work, right? And eventually, the breath gets incorporated into all of that. But it isn't the sort of working from the breath up, it's really working from what you do well and working your way out from that area. So that there's never a sense that you're learning my technique, right? What I'm doing is guiding you toward finding your own technique.
Yes.
Yeah? And honing your skills. And technique has to be transparent. You cannot, this is my firm belief, you cannot see the fingerprint of the teacher on the student. You shouldn't. You shouldn't say, that definitely is that person's student because I can see the technique that they're using. It should be that it's transparent, right? And that the student themselves have, at the end of it, obviously come up with their own clear ideas about how things work. That's why oftentimes we have these dialogues, right?
Yeah.
And you tell me the things that work well and the things that don't work well. And the more that you're able to do that and put those words together, that's when it starts to really click.
Yes,
So,
definitely. Well, because every singer's different.
They
Every
are.
voice is different.
Right.
So every singer's going to go about maybe the same things in a completely different technical way.
Absolutely
and that's
right.
fine.
Because there are 100 genres of music.
Right.
You know, and there's, like I said, there's public speaking and all the rest of it, and everything else that utilizes this basic instrument. But what we have to remember is there has to be a sustainable, efficient default place where we can call on that.
Which is what you always tell me.
The default place,
This
right.
is a perfect segue.
All right, I'm good at segues.
Okay,
I like segues.
so we all know that I sing a lot of different genres nowadays. Mostly it's primarily rock music now, but I get hired out to sing a lot of pop music, like I used to be with Studio E. I sing a lot with the Jason Kendall Band now. I still do sing classical if somebody wants me to.
And well.
Yeah. I do a lot of church music, a lot of sacred music still. But I've kind of transitioned from classical to being more of a contemporary singer. But everything that I do in here with Dan, it's still classical. That's my home base.
Yeah, that's your home base, you know, and there's a stigma about that, saying, well, I have to train classically. No, you know, I think what we're finding is that classical music has been around, and the technique has been around for so long because it is efficient, because we can use it for a lot of different genres, right? Whatever we call it, that's what we call it. But it doesn't have to be called classical for it to be really just this efficient, you know,
I find it more as like this foundational technique for me to lean on. Yes, I'm using more of a classical placement, but then I take that technique and I transfer it to these other genres, and it allows me to sing these other genres very efficiently without me hurting myself.
That's right. You know, I was talking with someone the other day about he's doing an audiobook, and he has to do about 20 different characters and different voices and accents and things. And I said, you know, the most important thing you can do and remember is that it has to be elasticity in these things. Meaning, you know, when you stretch something out, it has to be able to come back to home base, right? If we're stretching out and going past that point of no return and we can't come back to home base, we've gone too far.
Yes.
Right? Which is why we work on things like elasticity voce, things
right.
like that.
And which is why people that are professional singers still take voice lessons.
Right.
A lot of people ask me, they're like, you still take voice lessons? And I'm like, yes, absolutely. Yeah. Because I need someone to bring me back to that home base and make sure it's healthy.
You need your eyes and your ears out there. You know, I have coaches I go to and I trust, and they will say, "Don't do that. That's no good.
That's not right.
That's okay, but do this instead." So always, you know, we need those eyes and ears out there.
Yeah. So you all are getting a sneak peek into somebody telling me when I'm doing things wrong.
That never happens in here, by the way. Yes. Chelsea has never made a mistake. So
oh, please.
We're going to keep that tradition going. No, it is good to have those things, you know, to find those flaws. And again, you know, I've told you this many times. Finding those flaws that's a next step toward finding a new color, possibly, right?
Oh, my God, and you've heard my voice through all its colors.
Right. You've got to find those cracks so that you can actually allow it to grow, you know, within the cracks. So, hey.
Well, shall we?
You want to make some sound?
Yeah.
do some lip trills first.
Okay.
Two more. Good. So far, so perfect. All right, from an E to an A now. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, man.
Good. So, with the E there, just remember, you're lifting ever so slightly to get that. That's right.
Yes.
And then the ah is just going to be a result of that space.
Yes.
So not closing in on the space.
My jaw feels a little tight today.
That's
for
right.
sure.
So always trust the muscles that you can actually use, right? The muscles up here will hopefully relieve what's going on below. Okay? Yeah.
That feels a little better.
Okay, so you're doing great. It's just remember though, your voice is growing. It is getting darker, right?
Yeah.
But there is one thing we cannot lose in it. It's that elasticity. It is youth. Don't lose the youth in your voice.
Am I over darkening vowels?
You are over darkening.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right.
So we're going yeah up
Okay.
on top. That's where it is. That's where the color is. That's where the joy is in your
Okay.
voice. Yes.
Yes.
I know that the music is heavy. I know that it's getting, it's darkening up, but you gotta keep the chiaroscuro.
Okay.
Chiaroscuro, light and dark. All right. So say the word harmony. Harmony.
Harmony?
Harmony.
Harmony. Okay.
Harmony, 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 hum. We're gonna get this tongue to move, okay?
Okay.
Harmony, 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 hum. Yep.
Harmony, 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 hum. You want to close to the M?
You close at the end, yeah. So we're gonna
Okay.
hum at the end, okay?
Got it. Harmony, 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 hum.
Good. Now, how efficient can we make these articulators? Harmony, harmony,
Got it.
harmony, 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 hum.
Got it. Harmony, 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 hum.
Yeah.
Harmony, 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 hum.
Right. So making sure we get to that hum. We're not putting any pressure on it. It's just sitting there.
Harmony, 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 hum. Harmony, 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 hum.
Good. Can you get right to the vibrato?
Yeah. Harmony, 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 hum. 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 Harmony, 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 hum.
Two more.
Harmony, 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 hum. Harmony, 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 hum.
Good.
Got it.
Let's stretch the range. Okay. E and A for me. Yeah, 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 yeah. Good. Right, but trust your sigh up there.
Yeah.
Okay, we don't need to shoot it, push it, pinch it.
Just let it go.
That's right. this is at this point. This is when we would talk about breath a little bit, and not to feel like you've got to overly engage the breath when you get up there, right?
Yeah.
There is going to be a flow to it, but it needs to be a constant flow to the breath.
Yes.
So we don't engage just at the top.
Right.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, well, there we go. Ready?
Yeah.
Good. Take that breath high. Take that breath high, like a soprano.
Okay.
That's beautiful.
That's better.
That is better. Good.
More lift.
It's going to go
It's
deep.
the bottom. You
Yeah.
need more lift on the bottom.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the breath itself, right? We don't want to suck the breath in.
Right. Okay.
Feeling it here. That's it. That's it. Good. One more up here. Right. Nice flip over. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
There was no tension in that.
Yeah, that felt pretty good.
Very good. Let's do a little messa di voce. So messa di voce, just kind of explain it right to everybody, because everyone asks, what does it mean? It basically just literally means like putting or placing of the voice, where the voice starts and where it stops. Right? So it's a great way to work on this elasticity. And because you can kind of stretch it a little bit and take it to an unsafe place and then bring it back and sort of see what your limits are, right?
Yeah.
More than anything else, I mean, it works the breath, it works the volume, it works the dynamics, but it really teaches us our limits and teaches us where, on a particular day, where we can go and maybe where we can't go. Okay, so
Yeah.
what we're going to do is we're going to stretch it from E to A to A.
Okay. I don't like these.
They're
hard.
You know, and that is, I have to tell you, that
I've
is,
never liked them.
this is a phrase I've heard Chelsea say for a decade. We'll do an exercise, and she'll say, "I don't like these," or she'll say to me, "What will you say to me?" You say, "You're mean."
Yeah, why are you making
Why are you making
today?
me do this, right? And then afterwards we'll talk, and she's like, okay, fine. I guess I have to do them. But yes, there are things that you're not going to like about this, for sure.
It's rough. It's hard to
It's hard.
get to that very loud placement and then have to just reel it all. It's tough.
It's
All
tough.
right, I'll
It's
do
tough.
it now.
All right, here we go. E-A-I-A-E. Good.
I have to say, they're much easier now at 30 than they were at 19.
I'll bet. And this exercise, you can do it any number of ways. You can make it super hard and super easy, right?
Yeah.
You lengthen it out or you take it up in your range, it's going to get tougher. So make sure that you're lifting for the ah.
Okay.
Keep lifting for the ah. You're doing beautifully, and I love beautiful voices, I really do. I've always loved your voice. But I'm missing a little bit of the abandon, a little bit of the wild. I don't think that you're right quite to where your limits are.
Okay, you want me to take it farther.
Yeah. I want you to know what your limits are.
Okay.
Okay. this is where the breath kind of comes into play, right? We'll start to really feel like, oh, okay, I think I'm at my limit here.
Yeah.
I'm engaged to the point where I can't go anymore. Yeah? You liking these yet?
No.
Good.
Let's keep going.
Yes. Good. What's that third vowel again?
Ah. It's too dark. I know.
You're telling me.
I know.
Yes. All right. Yeah. And there, inherently in that sound, then you have more overtone. You have more of that traveling sound that you need out. Yes?
Yeah.
The traveling sound. That's what we want. Let's see how well this voice moves.
Okay.
All right, but at your pace. Don't worry. I'm going to play it a little slower to start, and we'll speed it up as we go.
We
Okay?
always go off the rails.
We go off the rails. That's what happens in here. We pretty much just go off the rails. All right. So on an O vowel for me.
You're gonna yell at me about my O vowel, and I already know it.
I know. I've already prepared my response too.
Uh-huh.
I've actually written it down.
Okay.
So I'm just so used to doing it. I'm just gonna read it from a cue
Every
card.
time I sing O.
Chelsea, why are you doing? Yes. All right.
Chelsea, the O is too dark. Stop it. Okay, I already know. All right, let's see if I can do it.
Keep the
right
youth
away.
in it. The youth is where the agility is.
Okay.
It is an O. It is. I mean, it is. That's definitely an O.
But
It's-
not the right one?
No. I mean, these are versions of, it's all gray area. But what I would love, right, is just the feeling that it's like a little silver ball that's
Okay.
spinning, right?
Yes.
And you're shining the top of it,
Yes.
and you're not trying to push it up a hill.
Right.
Sit right on top.
See, this is where the singer stuff gets weird. We
Weird.
use
I mean,
analogies like
shoot.
this all the time.
No,
People are like, what are you talking about? But every singer will get that.
I got pocketfuls of weird.
Ugh.
I'll pull them out later.
Okay.
Here we go. Yeah.
Better.
Yeah.
I get it. I
Yeah,
get it.
but get that through line. Get the legato in there.
Okay.
So that the notes overlap one into the next. Yeah, don't just set them out.
Keep-
String them all together.
Okay.
All right, get sloppy with it.
Oh.
You're not able to. It's fine. You're never going to go too far. Chelsea, you're too good of a musician, so just get
You
wild.
know I don't like doing that.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Last one. Good.
You know moving's never been a problem.
You sang it faster than I played it. All right, that was good.
That's the easy part for me.
That's good. That's good. But the thing is, the more efficient you can make this, the faster it'll go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
getting away from overshaping, overdoing it,
Right,
overpronouncing.
and you can't think individual notes when you're singing that quickly.
It's phrases.
I mean, at first, like if you're learning a piece, of course
Yeah.
you have to do it slowly and learn each note, but eventually it's just one big long line.
It really is, and sometimes when people have a problem with certain notes or a certain part of their range, sometimes we'll just start with like a contour of it, right? We'll sort of get the overarching phrase, right? So for example, if you were singing Happy Birthday, instead of going Happy Birthday to you, you might go Happy Birthday to you, sort of get
Right.
the speech end of it. And so what happens is it gives people more confidence, you know, to be able to say, oh, well, if I can do this in my speech-like voice, I can pretty much translate that into singing.
Yeah.
So that's, you sound terrific, though. You sound terrific.
Thanks. I wasn't feeling so great when I first walked in.
Well.
I do feel much better now.
Hey, good. Excellent.
Yeah, my voice feels much better.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Are you singing something for me today?
I don't know. I didn't really bring anything.
I
mean, we could pull something out for old time's sake.
How about an excerpt of something?
Am I jumping in? Too dark. All right, so this piece has just been like the bane of my existence for forever.
Aren't you glad that I chose it?
I'm so mad at you, but no, this is good for everybody to see this.
So, when you're looking at this, whether it's German, English, what doesn't matter, right? So looking for the vowel agreement here.
Yeah,
So you don't have to say, you don't have to say Herzen.
Right.
Herzen. Yeah, it all sort of
Yes.
sits in a similar place.
I need to keep everything in this place, up here. All right, let's do it again. See
The
if I can
voice
get
is on the plane, right? It's not going this way. Let's do this again. Yeah, good.
That was better.
It was. Let's skip ahead to the fun part, though.
Oh, you're gonna have to give me notes. It's been so long.
Oh, it's fine.
It's been like 4 years.
Are you?
Oh, this one. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah, right.
Always something to learn. Hey, let's do the next one.
Woo!
Let's go from Macht das in Wind
Yeah, okay.
Tagen. Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Amazing.
3 years. Okay.
Yeah, amazing.
But
and it's there and it's filled out.
Yeah, it's a lot different.
It is.
Than how I sang it 3 years ago.
Awesome. Great.
Interesting.
You sound terrific.
Wow, maybe we should pull that one back out.
Maybe we should.
All
right. Always learn something new in here.
Yeah.
Well done.
All right, well, y'all just got to see a voice lesson of mine. And you got to meet Dan, who's fantastic. So, thank you, Dan.
Hey, thank you.
All right, everyone, I hope you enjoyed my voice lesson. I hope you learned a thing or two, and that is a wrap. We'll see you next time at Music Talks.